as Kathy said, we're honored to be here with you. And you don't know how this feels to be able to say to the best warriors in the world, thank you. I am going to give you some information first, and then I have a very short time to give you the bottom line answers on how to keep your Marines out of the courts and out of my way. Because if they fall into the courts, what's going to happen is some judge somewhere is going to be directing their lives. And they're going to make decisions for them that they don't want to have made for them. They want to direct their own lives. But what happens when you fall into the courts by making bad decisions is we take over that job and you don't get to plan your life anymore. We do. And that's a very hard message because it's difficult to always be in control. And it's difficult to always have your future in mind no matter what you're doing. That's, sometimes you just want to say, oh God, leave me alone. I just want, some fucking peace. Sorry about that. But I spent a long time talking to lawyers and criminals, so I have a mouth like a stevedore. But I want you to know that there is peace for people who are in trouble. There's the ability to recapture the joy of life. And there is not only that, there's a future, a very bright future when you come through the darkness. And General Kelly is absolutely right. We started this program because I was doing a domestic violence court where all I saw were families in trouble, and miserable families in trouble. And after the first deployment, we started to get a lot of young Marines coming into the courts, mostly for alcohol offenses and domestic violence. And as you all already know, there's a tremendous impact on your career if you get arrested for a domestic violence offense. Not only that, it costs you thousands of dollars. Plus, we suck up your life. You get put on probation. If the injuries are severe enough, you may go into prison or jail. And you kind of cut off for us all of the things that we could do for you by making really bad decisions. So we're going to talk about good decision making and how to stay strong and how to stay out of my grasp. Because I used to send people to state prison all the time. I used to send people to jail all the time. I used to send people to treatment programs all the time. But you know what? They've all been convicted. So they have foreclosed their life by making the decision to engage in a violent act. First, let me back up a little bit, because I have some stuff to tell you that's really fun and good. One, the business of the day is that we're going to present to you people that we've pulled from all over the United States to come in and talk to you and to be part of the training program that's going to help you to help your other Marines. Now, if everybody in this room just helped one other Marine or Navy person, we cannot tell you how overjoyed we are. You will all have that opportunity. You may not think that you do, but you will have that opportunity somewhere, sometime in your life. Because of this training, you're going to know how to help a buddy. And because of that, you're going to save their life just as surely as you were on the battlefield with them and you drag them to safety. You're going to drag them to safety at home, because your problems, well, not you, but the problems that all warriors have after combat is putting together the two sides of life, the combat role and the life at home, and trying to get those things back into your head so that you can, have control over your view of life. One of the things that I think is the most important is that people tend to lose the quality of joy in their life. And I'm not a social worker. I'm not a psychologist. I just played one on the bench. So, I was kind of like Mrs. Frankenstein. I got to take people apart and put them back together again. But lawyer training isn't really good for that. And frankly, I got to tell you, there's a lot of judges who don't care. And then there's a lot of judges who don't know. And so when some judges, if you're lucky enough to fall into a courtroom and that, this is already a tragedy, and you are there with somebody who is aware and wants to help, you might get part of your life back together, but you're going to lose some of it. So I want to tell you about things that I'm supposed to tell you about right off the top, and I've kind of like jumped the gun. I want to tell the audio people that this speaker over here is hissing, and it's very annoying, especially to me, okay? So you're going to do 10 days in jail if that thing isn't fixed. Okay. I want to thank General and Mrs. Kelly for spearheading us to be able to come down and talk to the reservists. We actually got the message that General Kelly was interested in having us the day we were walking in to do a conference for Lejeune, and we had about 900 Marines there. And that was our first off-site conference, and we were very happy to be there and excited about it. And when we got the message that we were going to be able to come to talk to the reservists, we were equally thrilled because you are a new audience to us. And we wanted to make sure that what we have for you fit your needs. Every time we do this program, we rewrite it. So it's only for you. It's not for the program that we did in Camp Lejeune. It's not for the programs we've done in Pendleton. It's just for you. It's been crafted by your leadership for your needs. You already know what this program's about. General Kelly told you. It's about saving lives. And this is a different kind of conference. It's going to be more direct. It's not going to be topic oriented. It's going to be direct to your heart. And we want to reach that place on purpose because we want to motivate you to reach beyond yourselves and don't say, oh, well, that's a private affair. It's between him and his wife. And gee, I can't really, do anything. And, what happens behind closed doors, you're going to lose that person. He's going to lose his family. And, or she is going to lose her family. So, make it happen is the real bottom line. The program's very packed. We have to have you back here in the room on time for many reasons. We also want to let you know that if you have questions during the day, there are cards on the table, or I see pads. Are there cards on the table now? Like 3x5s? Yes? Yes? No? I need a response. Okay, we got them. All right. What I want you to do, if you have a question of any speaker, write your question out. Please write it so we can read it. And if you want a response right away, I will answer. We will go through and select the questions we can answer. And either the speaker will answer it from the dais with me, or I will do it alone if it's a legal question or something like that. If you want a private answer and you don't want us to read it from the dais, this thing, put your email on it. And we will give it to the speaker, and they will give you a private email response. Those are the only people who are going to see it, okay? So you have the ability to get a private answer to a question from a speaker. Excuse me a second. This air in this hotel is so dry. I thought it was in Iraq, The next thing is, on your desk, on your table, are these mugs. We give them out at every conference. They're a little present that we like to give you. They're ergonomically designed, so they're like a place for your nose. And but they're also very good. Mugs that keep things hot and cold. On the back, the real reason we're giving you this, and we want you to take them with you, please, is that there's a whole list of resources that are specifically designed for reservists, okay? So that if you're, going around and you know somebody who's having a problem, you don't know who to call, and you're thinking about, well, should I call or not? Here's who you call, okay? This gets it started. The next thing I want you to know about is the book. In the book, we have a lot of resources for you, and I'd like you to take these with you so that you can help somebody else with that material. The last thing I'm going to tell you, two more things. One, all of the speakers' bios are in the book, and those are the long bios that tell you who we really are. I'm going to read very short bios from the dais here because I don't want to take the time away from their speaking time to go through their whole and long and involved life thing, because it takes away from the message. Last, we're going to give away money. I don't get a response from giving away money. Geez. I mean, you know. All right, guys, I'm going to give away money. All right. Now I'm talking to Marines. Okay, here's the deal. Everybody has to have a ticket. Is there anybody in the room who does not have a ticket? If you don't have a ticket, yes, stand up. You can stand up so we can find you. Okay, we'll get you tickets. So stand up. I don't see anybody on the on this side, but some on this side didn't get tickets. Once you have your ticket, hold on to your ticket, because what we're going to do is we're going to give away money prizes in denominations. I think it's what, $50 to $500? Yeah. So and we have quite a few. That's what all these little bags back here are. So we're going to give away money at the end of the first break. If you're not in the room, you don't win. Okay? So you have to come back on time. So if I call your number and you're not here, you lose. We're also going to give away prizes after lunch, at the stretch break, at the PM break, and then the final drawing is the last thing we do, and that's the most money. For me personally, I have to explain word references, because I know that talking to young people, and you guys are young people, I'm sorry, I could be your mother, is that I use word references that you know, might have some problems with. This is not a conference about you, but you may identify with some of the things that are being said by some of the speakers. So I always use you and yours, and I do that because I speak to a lot of different groups. So it's very hard for me to segregate out the you and yours, so when I do that, just put it on the back burner. Last, we want to emphasize that you are lucky to be a warrior in today's world. And the reason is that the warriors in World War I and World War II and Korea and Vietnam and all the other engagements didn't have your ability to stay connected. How many of you have cell phones? Let's see the hands. And they're off. How many of you have computers? How many of you know how to use the internet? Okay? This is a important concept, because now they're even starting wars on Facebook in Egypt. So, you know, if they can do that, you can stay connected to your fellow Marines. And I would like to encourage you to at least pick out 6 people that you know well enough to keep a dialogue and talk to them, text them, message them, because we want them not to fall behind at home. If you notice, on the front of the book is the motto of our program: one unguarded moment, a lifetime of regret. And this is very, very true. In life, whether you're a Marine or a Navy person or not, if you're just a regular person who never got the opportunity to serve, and you screw up, it follows you. And it follows you forever. And so you want to understand that there's a way to think through a crisis, a trauma, and also to be able to be the person who's strong for someone else who may not feel that strong right now. And you can help them recapture their strength and their vision of what they would like to do with their future. Right now I'm going to make an about face and talk to you about domestic violence and what we see in the courts. Now, I told you I'm not a psychologist. This is Alice LaViolette. She is the psychologist and expert. So here you're going to get quick and dirty from a judge who had to make decisions on the fly about people's lives. And what I saw handling virtually thousands and thousands of cases, because I did between 1,000 and 1,200 cases a month for 7 years. That's a lot of people. Is that there are basically 2 types of people that fall into the courts for domestic violence. One is incident related, and the other one is a pattern of violence that is lifelong.